What if one ultimatum could unravel empires? One ambiguous threat ignites a global war? On July 23, 1914, the Austro-Hungarian Empire delivered a list of demands to Serbia, an ultimatum so harsh it was slated to fail. It was the spark that set in motion the July crisis, a chain reaction that plunged the world into the Great War. But that's just the start. Welcome back to Earth Sights on This Day series. And today we're diving into July 23rd, a date when tense diplomacy turned into global mobilization. But there's more. We'll trace how this day's decisions echo through history, explore personal stories, and uncover the true impact of this fateful ultimatum. On June 28, 1914, the assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand in Sarajevo triggered a diplomatic firestorm. Just days later, Austria-Hungary convened with Germany, its ally, who assured support for firm action. Then came July 23rd, the ultimatum. Imagine receiving a list of demands framed as a test. Reject even one, and you're declaring war. That's the ultimatum. Serbia had 48 hours to concede or face invasion. Suppress anti-Austrian propaganda. Allow officials into Serbia to participate in investigations and overhaul state systems. Combined, these demands were near impossible, designed to provoke rejection. It was like telling someone, "Let me into your house to investigate you, and don't lock the door." Serbia couldn't say yes without losing sovereignty. Serbia hesitated, but while they deliberated, Russia, a Serbian ally, mobilized the next day. And that's when July 23 RD's impact exploded. On July 24th, Russia began partial mobilization, fearing Austro-Hungarian aggression. Serbia started mobilizing too. By July 28th, Austria-Hungary declared war. One after another, alliances pulled in Germany, Russia, France, Britain, setting Europe ablaze. Treaties meant that one country's war wasn't just theirs, it was everyone's. The Triple Alliance and the Triple Entente converted diplomacy into war. Serbia's refusal and Russia's mobilization turned two countries into a continent-wide conflict. July 23 RD's ultimatum shifted Europe's trajectory in a matter of days. Young men queued for enlistment. Parents wept. Cities converted industries overnight. Imagine being a university student in Vienna. On Wednesday, you're studying literature. By Saturday, you're being recruited for war. It's as if someone hit a global reset button on jobs, families, futures. But how did one fateful ultimatum shape the wider arc of history? The consequences were vast. World War I resulted in the death of 40 million people and destroyed the four empires of Austro-Hungary, Russia, the Ottoman Empire, and Germany. It redrew Europe's map with new nations and planted seeds of World War II and modern geopolitics. Think of it as a global earthquake. The fault line was the ultimatum. The aftershocks reshaped the world. Modern diplomacy often avoids ultimatums, yet coercion still exists. Trade embargoes, cyber threats, military posturing. Today, economic sanctions can be an ultimatum by another name. Change your behavior or face consequences. But how can we resolve conflicts without triggering global crises? That's the ongoing challenge. On July 23, 1914, a single document, the ultimatum, ignited the July crisis and led to a war that changed everything. It reminds us how urgent communication, careful diplomacy, and measured responses matter. Thanks for watching this episode of the On This Day series from Earthsight. If this resonates, please like, subscribe, and share. And please drop a comment. What modern conflict today reminds you of July 1914? Let's talk history and its lessons.